All right, everyone, welcome back to the show for a deep dive today into something that's, I think, really, really fascinating and really important.
For sure.
If you care about SEO, and I know our listeners do,
Absolutely.
that's a semantic SEO.
Yeah.
And to guide us through this,
Yeah.
we have a great guest, Alex,
Hi.
who is the brains behind the Semantic blog,
Yeah.
which we are using as our source material for this deep dive.
It's an honor to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you. So you've been in the SEO game for over 2 decades.
Yeah, 20 years.
What got you into this whole semantic side of things?
I think it was, well, to be honest with you, it was a frustration seeing good content not ranking well.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, Google must be missing something,
Oh, interesting.
and that led me down this path of semantic SEO and trying to help Google understand content better.
Yeah, because I think all of us, I mean, anyone who's ever used a search engine
For sure.
has definitely run into that frustration of like, this is not what I was looking for at all. Like,
Totally.
how did it even?
Yeah, the results don't match what I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah, so for our listeners who maybe aren't as familiar with this as we are, what is semantic SEO? And why should someone care?
Well, basically, semantic SEO is a way to make your content understandable by machines.
Okay.
I always like to use the analogy of a library.
Okay.
If you walk into a library and the books are just scattered around everywhere, it's going to be really difficult to find anything.
Right.
But if they're well organized, then you're going to be able to find what you need.
Yeah.
And so that's what semantic SEO is for the web.
Okay.
It's creating a structure so that search engines can really understand the meaning of the content, and why should you care?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to rank better, and you're going to reach the right
Right.
audience.
That makes total sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally does. And, speaking of organizing information, I thought it was really interesting in one of your blog posts you talk about kind of this transition from just targeting keywords to understanding user intent.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
So, keywords are a starting point, but we really need to understand the why behind the search.
Okay.
What is the user actually trying to achieve? What problem are they trying to solve?
Yeah.
And by understanding user intent, you can create content that really satisfies the user's needs, and ultimately that's what Google wants to do as well.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it makes sense if someone's searching for, how to bake a cake.
Exactly.
They don't want a history of cake. They want to actually bake one.
Exactly.
And then another one of your blog posts, I thought this was really interesting too, is you actually have kind of a new proposal for how to manage content.
Yeah.
And even a little bit of a critique of Google's model.
Yeah, I think Google's focus on search intent is great.
Okay.
But I think it's missing something. Because, if you just focus on intent, then the content can feel really fragmented.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really give users that full picture of what they need.
Okay.
So it's like having pieces of a puzzle, but you don't see the whole picture.
Got it.
So what's missing is how to connect all those pieces together.
So it's not enough to just know that they want to bake a cake. We have to also understand, what are all the other things that go along with baking a cake?
Totally. Like, what kind of cake are they trying to bake? What are the ingredients?
Right.
What are the steps involved?
Yeah, what are all the,
What are the tools they need?
related things that are also important that they might also need? So,
exactly.
okay, so how do we kind of move beyond just those keywords and really start to build this, I don't know, web of meaning? Or how do we connect those pieces?
I think a really powerful method is called faceted classification.
Faceted classification. Okay, now that is a new term for me.
So basically, it's like tagging a book with multiple labels. So you might have the genre, the theme, the time period, even the author's background. And each of those labels is a facet.
Okay.
And it helps you understand the book within a larger context.
Yeah.
And you can apply that same principle to content.
Okay.
You could add tags to highlight different aspects of the topic.
Okay.
And that creates a richer, more interconnected web of information.
So it's like we're creating a map almost, like a really detailed map of this topic and highlighting all these little pathways and connections.
Exactly. It's like creating a knowledge graph for your topic.
And, this idea of like building this web reminds me of something else that I saw in your blog, which is AWL.
Oh, yeah. OWL.
What is that and why is that important?
OWL stands for Web Ontology Language.
Okay.
And it's a way to formalize these connections we've been talking about. So it's like giving search engines a dictionary, and a grammar book for a specific topic.
Okay.
So that they can understand not just the words, but also the relationships between them.
So it's almost like we're teaching search engines to think conceptually.
Exactly.
Like rather than just, these are a bunch of words on a page, like these words all relate to each other.
Exactly. And it's really powerful for SEO.
Yeah.
Because it helps search engines understand the nuances of a topic.
Yeah. So for someone who's like, okay, this sounds really interesting, but I am not a developer.
Yeah.
I'm a marketer, but I don't know all this technical stuff.
Right.
How do they get started with this?
Well, the best resource I found is actually from my own experience.
Oh, okay. And this is where we get to your ebook.
Exactly. My ebook is called Ebook SEO Semantico Fluxo de Trabalho Semántico.
Okay.
And it's a step-by-step guide that I've developed over the years.
Okay.
Based on working with clients and seeing what actually works.
Right.
And it covers everything from keyword research to content structuring to implementing schema markup to creating ontologies.
Okay.
So it's really a comprehensive guide to semantic SEO.
And it's designed for people who maybe aren't super technical.
It's written in plain English.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you also have a really cool case study.
Yes.
That you highlight on your blog. Ebook SEO Semantico Fluxo de Trabalho Semántico.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That case study shows how we applied these principles to a real-world project.
Okay.
And the results were amazing.
Fantastic.
We saw a significant increase in traffic and conversions.
That's awesome.
So it's a great example of how semantic SEO can really make a difference.
It's like you get to look behind the curtain and see how it actually works.
Exactly. It's not just theory.
Right.
It's practical application.
Very cool. Well, this has been a great start to our semantic SEO journey. We've covered so much already.
For sure.
But we're just getting started. So let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back to dive deeper into this fascinating world of semantic SEO.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Yeah. One of the things I see people get wrong a lot with semantic SEO is they think it's just about using synonyms and related keywords. Like it's just a word game.
Right.
But it's so much deeper than that.
Yeah. So how do we move beyond that? How do we actually capture the essence of what this is all about?
One of the most powerful tools is structured data markup. Okay. Basically, you're adding labels to your content so search engines can understand the different elements.
Okay.
Like the title, the author, the publication date, even the type of content itself.
So it's like giving them a roadmap for that piece of content.
Exactly. And speaking of making connections, another key aspect is internal linking.
Yeah, internal linking. I mean, it's
the unsung hero of SEO.
It really is. But how does that play into the semantic side of things?
So when you link related content together, you're not just helping users navigate your website.
Right.
You're also signaling to search engines that those pieces of information are connected.
Okay.
And that creates a richer context around a specific topic.
So it's like weaving a tapestry.
Exactly.
Of all these different ideas and concepts and showing how they all connect.
Totally.
For someone who's just starting out with this and maybe feeling a little overwhelmed, what would be like a good first step? What's some advice you'd give?
Start with your existing content.
Okay.
Look at what you already have and see how you can enhance it with semantic principles.
Okay.
Could you clarify the relationships between different pieces with internal linking?
Yeah.
Could you add structured data to give more context?
Okay.
Just start small.
That's great advice. And I think it's really reassuring to hear that it doesn't have to be this massive undertaking.
Yeah.
Right. You can start small and kind of iterate and go from there.
For sure.
You've been doing this for 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
How has the SEO landscape evolved and how has that shaped?
It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
When I first started, it was all about keywords and backlinks.
Yeah.
It's much more mechanical.
Yeah, just gaming the system.
Yeah, exactly. But now, search engines are more sophisticated.
Right.
And they're looking for quality and relevance and user experience.
Yeah. It's more about actually providing value.
Exactly.
And that's where I think the semantic stuff really comes into play.
Exactly.
Because it's not just about tricking Google anymore. It's about actually...
It's about aligning your content with how users search.
Right.
And understand information.
So speaking the same language, literally and figuratively.
Exactly.
What about looking ahead? What are some of the emerging trends that you're excited about in this space?
I think voice search is a big one.
Okay.
As more people use voice assistants to search, it's becoming more important to optimized for natural language.
So thinking about how people actually talk.
Exactly.
Rather than how they might type something into a search bar.
Yeah.
What about AI? How do you see that?
AI is huge.
Yeah.
It's already playing a big role in SEO.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
We're seeing AI tools for keyword research, content generation, even technical audits.
It's like having a robot assistant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like having a super smart assistant.
Yeah.
It can help you.
I can do all the work for you.
Yeah, well, not all the work, but it can definitely help.
It can help.
Yeah.
So it's not about replacing humans, but it's about...
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about augmenting human capabilities.
Awesome. Well, this has been a fantastic conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned a ton about this whole world of semantic SEO.
I'm glad.
And before we wrap up, I just want to remind our listeners, we'll have links to all the resources that we talked about today.
For sure.
In the show notes, including Alex's blog as his ebook.
Yes.
That great case study that we mentioned. So, Alex, as we go into this last part of our deep dive, what's one key takeaway that you hope our listeners will really remember?
I think the most important thing is to create content that really resonates with your audience. It's about answering their questions, addressing their needs, providing genuine value.
Yeah, it's about seeing the forest for the trees, or whatever that expression is.
Yeah, exactly. It's about creating content that really connects on a deeper level.
I love that. And I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Awesome.
So, Alex, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a really insightful...
It's been a pleasure.
...conversation. And for our listeners, be sure to check out the show notes for links to all of the resources that we mentioned, including Alex's blog,
my ebook,
his ebook, and that case study. And as always, thank you for tuning in to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.